Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So, this is a story I saw a while ago, and I just felt the need to talk about it because it raises very interesting questions. And this involves a story involving Little Nas X and Bootsy. Bootsy is a rapper, Nas X is a rapper. And, there's been some controversy about them because basically what happened was this Little Nas X made some announcement saying that him and Bootsy were going to do a song together. They were going to collaborate on a song. And this was a troll of the media, basically. Little Nas X had no intentions of making any kind of song with Bootsy. There was no agreement to make a song with him. That was just something he put out there as a joke and to generate controversy, as he usually does. And I'll get into that in a second. So he puts out this joke, and he basically says that they're going to do this song together. So in response, Bootsy puts out this hard hitting tweet that has generated a lot of controversy and stuff and a lot of attacks. People were calling him homophobic. They are attacking him. And the thing that's important to understand is that before Little Nas X made this statement, he already knew that Bootsy had certain views about homosexuality and gay people and all that kind of stuff. So he knew what he was doing when he made that statement about them having a song. He knew that it would trigger some kind of reaction, and that's exactly what happened. So in response to Little Nas X statement, Bootsy said, "Stop trolling me." And before I even go any further into this particular quote, I'm going to let you know that there will be profanity in this quote. There will be slurs and stuff like that. I'm just reading it so that you can know the full context of everything. I'm not going to beep out anything because it's important for people to know the actual words that were used. So he said, "Stop trolling me, faggot." And then it says, laughing out loud, "You a whole bitch playing with a gangster," shaking my head. "You can keep sucking dick and getting fucked in your ass in peace. And you hate yourself. I would too if I was you." Then it says, laughing out not loud. And it says, "Nas X, if you commit suicide, you would do this world a huge favor. Nobody wants you here." So that was Bootsy's statement. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. I have to respond to that particular statement. Uh, but first, what I want to talk about is just like Little Nas X and what he's trying to do, in terms of promoting this gay agenda. And it's not just about him. There are plenty of other people out here. What they're trying to do is normalize homosexuality, make it as if it's just, another way that people live and that it's acceptable, it's fine, and all that kind of stuff. And in addition to like trying to promote this acceptance and embrace of homosexuality, a lot of times they are promoting the emasculization of black men. They're promoting black men being feminized. That's what you see a lot. Now you see you know famous people that are supposed to take on masculine type of roles. For instance, athletes. That's one of the things that you think about when you think about male masculinity, like an athlete, a basketball player, a football player. But now they have, even these basketball players are walking around with dresses on. They're trying to get people to embrace this notion that it's fine for a man to walk around with a dress, that a black man should be in that feminine state, in that soft feminine type of state. And anytime your men are feminized, your men are essentially conquered and defeated, and your people are defeated along with them. And that's what is happening right now. They're promoting this feminized image of the black man. There was a time when rap was a masculine art form, when it was one of the few venues where black men were able to express their masculinity without being checked. They were able to express their strength, their manhood. But now that has become a new venue to feminize black men. You have rap artists like Young Thug running around in dresses. You got rap artists running around with purses. You got rap artists totally feminized, totally soft, totally unmasculine. That's the image that they're promoting. And then you have this artist, Lil Nas X. This man has taken pictures where he's has fake breasts on his chest. He's taking pictures where he's pretending to be pregnant, where he actually has, you know, a bloated belly, suggesting that he's pregnant. This man walks around in drag, and even worse than all that, like worse than him having, engaging in like gay sexual activity on camera, like kissing people and simulating gay sex in his music videos. This man actually promoted satanic ideas. And this is not on some conspiracy stuff. This is on some actual fact stuff. I mean, he had that video where he literally was having sex with the devil. He literally went to hell and had sex with the devil and then killed the devil. He literally was trying to sell sneakers with satanic symbols on them, blatantly satanic symbols. So this is not a conspiracy theory. This is an actual fact. This is what this man has done. So this is the context in which we're talking about. A context in which they have they parade all of these rap artists that we're supposed to respect. They have them in wearing dresses. A lot of these actors, and Dave Chappelle talks about this. He talked about a situation where they were trying to force him to wear drag, force him to wear a dress. And we've seen all these examples of all these black men, even strong black men like a Vin Rhames, dressing in drag, even a strong masculine man like a Wesley Snipe dressing in drag. All of these examples of black men in drag. And that's for a reason, to emasculate the black man. And that's a part of this gay agenda. And Lil Nas X is a part of that. When Lil Nas X came out, when he first came out on the scene, a lot of kids listened to his music. He had that popular song that was directed towards kids. A lot of kids listened to that music. And as I pointed out in the prior video, he went to a school with children, and all of those children knew his song verbatim. They were singing along with him when he gave his show at this particular elementary school. And now, after getting the attention of the youth, after capturing the attention of the youth, this man promotes this not only this gay agenda, but a satanic agenda. He's promoting that, celebrating that. And the sad thing is, instead of condemning this stuff, instead of speaking out against this debauchery and wickedness, you got all these people celebrating this guy as if he's some kind of hero or something. You got all these publications talking about how bold he is, how he's so great, how he's so wonderful, and all that kind of stuff. And you got these ignorant black people defending this guy and celebrating him, making him into some kind of martyr or some kind of hero or something. That's what we see when it comes to this. All of these black, quote unquote, black publications defending him, talking about how he's so great and so wonderful and this and that, when he is promoting the emasculation of black men, when he is promoting satanic type of stuff. And again, this is not some theory. This is not something where there's some hidden symbolism somebody has to decipher. It's all in your face. He had a video again where he went to hell and he had sex with the devil. He literally was selling satanic gym shoes or sneakers. So and then this guy celebrated as some kind of hero. And when anybody tries to speak out against this particular lifestyle or this particular way of living or type of agenda, that person is criticized, they're labeled, they're demonized, and they're ostracized, and they face punishment for doing so. We saw what happened to Dave Chappelle. he had this show, and I did a prior video about it. I'll put it in the cards where, the show where he did the stand up, his stand up routine, the closer, where he talked about the issue of transgenders and all that kind of stuff, and he was demonized, despite the fact that he also talked about a dear friend of his that he had respect for, who was transgender, and talked about the loss of that friend and its impact on his life. Despite all of that, they demonized this brother. We saw what happened to this gospel singer who said something about the LGBT lifestyle. Talked about like it in the context of what Christian scriptures say about that. That artist was demonized and attacked. Nowadays, like these churches and all that kind of stuff, they completely ignore the scriptures that they claim to believe in order to embrace acceptance in this society and embrace, acceptance by the secular world. They're willing to forego what their own scriptures say, and they're willing to go along with condemning a gospel singer, and I can't recall her name. I think it's Kim Burrell or something like that. Condemn a gospel singer, and forgive me if I said the wrong person's name, but this particular gospel singer, you got other Christians who claim to believe in that book, in that Bible, condemning her for speaking out based on the teachings in the Bible. And then you had a situation of the baby where, he was ostracized, all condemned and stuff like that. Blackballed and blacklisted and kicked off all these tours and all that kind of stuff. That's what happened to him for making some statements. But it's okay for him to talk about killing people. It's okay for him to talk about selling drugs and all that kind of stuff. He doesn't get kicked off any tours or any of that kind of stuff for any of that kind of stuff. But say something about, the LGBT communities, make some point about that, and all of a sudden he's ostracized and condemned. And as Dave Chappelle pointed out, never mind the fact that he killed somebody. That's all right. But if he makes some statements about the LGBT community, he's crucified now. They literally putting him on a cross, nailing him to that cross, and throwing all kinds of stones at him. So, so that's so that's the thing. People are condemned and demonized for speaking out against this stuff. And that's a part of the whole agenda. The other thing is this, like, Lil Nas X is a professional troll. That's what he is. He trolls people, he trolls the media in order to get free publicity and attention. And I think that it's time for people to realize that, to understand that, so that they don't feed the troll, so that they don't pay attention to him and feed him and give him more attention and more views or more, listens and streams and all that kind of stuff. People need to just ignore him. So when, Lil Boosie basically fell into this guy's trap, when the guy made that press announcement, that statement talking about doing a collaboration, he basically fell into the trap and helped generate more publicity for Lil Nas X by putting out this statement. And then, by putting out this statement, now Boosie is under attack for what he had to say. And this is what I have to say about what Lil Boosie was saying, like, his tweet and all that kind of stuff. I don't think that he should have put out the tweet, first of all. I don't agree with the language that he used. You can disagree with somebody's lifestyle without using slurs against them. You can disagree with somebody's lifestyle without using vulgarity in your statement and in your condemnation of that lifestyle. You can speak out against somebody's lifestyle without discriminating against them. You can speak out against somebody's lifestyle without encouraging violence, without encouraging them to commit suicide. So basically, Boosie just set himself up to destroy his own career, to sabotage his own career. And I just think that that was a huge mistake on Bootsy's part, a miscalculation. And now he's looked at as the villain, and this guy Little Nas X is looked at as some kind of victim, and then it also generates more attention for Little Nas X. So that's the problem. And then the other thing that I want to talk about is this selective morality that we see, like with artists like Bootsy and all that kind of stuff. And as you know, like I'm not a fan of the homosexual lifestyle or or anything like that, but I don't believe in attacking gay people or using slurs, and I don't support any kind of discrimination against people in the LGBT community. I think that they should have the same rights as any other people. I just don't agree with the lifestyle. So, that's what I have to say about that. But you have this selective morality. So you have these people that want to, condemn homosexuality and get on some moral high horse and all that kind of stuff, and, become all holy when it comes to these homosexual issues or LGBT stuff. But they're not in that same moral ground when it comes to these other issues. These same people that want to pretend to be all, holier than thou, or want to condemn stuff as immoral, they're the same people that celebrate a lot of immorality that plagues our community, like the drug epidemic. You got a lot of these artists that glorify selling drugs, they glorify using drugs, but yet they want to speak out about this homosexuality thing. I don't think that they're in a moral position to do so. Like, I think that they're morally compromised because of that. So you got these artists that, and then, like, there was a time when using drugs was viewed as something negative, when being addicted to drugs was a shameful thing or whatever. It was something to be condemned and stuff like that. It was something people were clowned about. People were used to be clowned about being a quote unquote junkie or crackhead and all that kind of stuff. But today we celebrate junkies, quote unquote junkies. We celebrate that. These artists sing about using all kinds of opioids, opiates and stuff, getting high, being doped out and all that kind of stuff. They celebrate that. These same people that want to speak out against homosexuality don't have any problem with misogyny, don't have any problem, disrespecting Black women, calling Black women bitches and hoes and all other kinds of disrespectful things, talking about, they don't love these hoes and bitches ain't shit and all that other kind of stuff. They don't have any problem with that. But yet they want to get on their moral high horse when it comes to this gay stuff, when it comes to that gay stuff. And again, like, I don't support that lifestyle and stuff like that. But it's just hard for somebody to take you seriously when your music promotes a lot of immorality, but yet you want to pretend like you're on some moral position to condemn somebody else's immorality. Especially like when you got somebody like a Bootsy with with a gazillion baby mamas, you know what I'm saying? Like, how are you in any kind of position to be talking about anybody's immorality and stuff like that? There are different types of immoral behavior. But anyway, those are my thoughts. I just wanted to share those thoughts with you. Like, I see it from many different perspectives, and I just think that little Bootsy just set himself up to be demonized, and he helped bring attention to this guy, Little Nas X. Like, the last thing that this guy, Little Nas X, needs is more attention. And unfortunately, by doing this particular video, I'm bringing more attention to Little Nas X. And I thought about actually naming this video the last video that I will do about Little Nas X. And this probably will be the last video I do on this guy, because I don't think he deserves all of this attention that he's getting. I mean, he's a mediocre rap artist. He's not some great rap artist and all that kind of stuff. and he doesn't, warrant any of this attention. And I doubt that he would receive all of this attention if he didn't like become some kind of poster boy for the LGBT movement and stuff. We saw that with that, there was some football player that came out as gay, and because of that, he was celebrated and he got all this media attention. But when it came down to it, he ended up like nobody hears about him anymore. Like, I don't know what happened with his career or whatever. But it's like anytime you like, unfortunately, this LGBT thing brings more attention to artists. Like you got some artists that if they come out as gay or they pretend to be gay or whatever, that'll get them more attention. Like when you had Kid Cudi come out in that dress and all that kind of stuff on some gay stuff, he generated a lot of attention. When you had that movie, I can't even remember the name of it. It was some gay movie involving black men. I'm blanking on the name. It's probably gonna come to me right after I do this video. Right after that, after that particular movie came out, it got all this praise and all that kind of stuff. And it turns out it's just a mediocre movie. It got all these, awards and all that kind of stuff. And I said, let me check it out to see why this movie is getting all this acclaim. And then when I saw it, it was just another movie. But because it dealt with that gay stuff, it became some big deal in Hollywood and stuff, especially since it dealt with black men. So yeah, so I'm going to go through your comments. Before I close out, I want to thank you all for tuning in. And again, I'm back on here. I'm not going to say like how often I'm going to do videos or when I'm going to do them, but it's going to be more frequent. And again, keep those notification bells on so that you'll know when I post. So this is a great comment. So Eric B pointed out something out that Malcolm X said. He said that Malcolm X talked about how they use black celebrities and entertainers to represent us in the media, and Lil Boosie is a prime example. And I think that that's a valid point. That's a valid point. Like Malcolm X talked about, like, they don't do this with any other community. Like in any other community, some singer is not going to be some representative or spokesperson for the black community. And these other, like some trumpet player or some comedian or some dancer or some other kind of entertainer, they're not going to be viewed as some kind of leader or spokesperson for the black community. But you see it all the time in the media. Like they're not going to be a spokesperson for any other community. But when it comes to black people, these entertainers are put out here as if they speak for black people. They're put out here as if they are the representatives for the black community. And that's by design. So you got all these people like like that culture vulture, that bloodsucker, Vlad TV, parading these people out here, asking for their opinions about all this kind of stuff as if they are some kind of spokespeople for the black community. You got the other media, traditional media, going to these entertainers, asking them about these particular issues, running to them as if they are the spokespeople or the leaders in our black community and stuff. And they're not. And by putting out somebody like a Lil Boosie as some kind of spokesperson or a Lil Nas X or whatever, it perpetuates exactly what the brother Malcolm X was talking about. So somebody said, what about, I guess they meant morality. What about your morality? And I'm not sure I'm not familiar with that channel. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect or anything like that. And I don't think that somebody has to be quote unquote perfect or, some holy man or woman to speak on issues and all that kind of stuff. But you can't be blatantly out here celebrating immorality and then actually want to speak out against immorality. You know, when it comes to me, I'm not a perfect person, but I'm not on here celebrating violence. I'm not on here celebrating drug use. I'm not on here celebrating drug dealing. I'm not on here, you know, promoting misogyny or anything like that, or any kind of violence or any kind of negativity. You know, for the people that are familiar with my channel, that are familiar with me as a person, they know that I'm not about those things. So I don't think that what I said about little Bootsy applies to myself, because I'm not in that same situation. So that's my response to that. So I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I'm going to do one more live stream today before I call it a day on YouTube. Um, so I want to thank you all for tuning in. Please like the video, share the video, hit that notification bell so that you'll know when I post new content on here. Shout out to Covina, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Again, make sure you hit that notification bell so that you'll know when I post new content on here. YouTube is playing around with my videos and stuff, because there's no way in hell I can have over 9,000 subscribers and only get a a relatively few amount of views per video. So y'all got to help me. And I'm trying to make it to 10,000. Help your man make it to 10,000. Spread the word, or encourage your friends to subscribe to this channel. Peace and blessings, and tell me what you think about this issue. Was I out of line? Was anything that I said wrong or incorrect? What do you think? Peace and blessings. Have a great day.